On the morning of August 4th, 1892, the Bordon household was shattered by a brutal and grisly crime. Andrew and Abby Borden were found murdered in their home, both having suffered multiple blows from a sharp instrument, presumed to be an axe. Abby was discovered first, lying face down in the guest bedroom, her skull crushed from the blows. Andrew was found later, slumped on the sofa in the sitting room, similarly mutilated. The life and infamy of Lizzie Borden. Early life and background. Lizzie Andrew Borden was born on July 19, 1860, in Fall River, Massachusetts, to Sarah Anthony Morse Borden and Andrew Jackson Borden. Her early life was marked by a degree of privilege due to her father's successful business ventures in manufacturing and real estate, despite his frugality. Lizzie had an older sister, Emma, and the Borden family lived comfortably, although not lavishly, in a respectable neighborhood. Lizzie's mother, Sarah, died when she was just a young girl, and Andrew remarried 3 years later to Abby Durfee Gray. The relationship between Lizzie and her stepmother was strained. Lizzie often referred to Abby as Mrs. Borden, rather than using a more affectionate term. This tension would later be scrutinized during the murder investigation. The Bordon Household. Andrew Borden was a prominent figure in the community, known for his wealth and austere lifestyle. He was a shrewd businessman, serving as the president of the Union Savings Bank and a director of the Durfee Safe Deposit and Trust Co. Despite his wealth, Andrew was notoriously frugal, which led to a modest lifestyle for the family. This frugality extended to the household, where even basic amenities like indoor plumbing were lacking in a time when they were becoming more common. The Borden household was also a complex social environment. In addition to the strained relationship between Lizzie and her stepmother, there were ongoing disputes over property and inheritance. Andrew's decision to transfer a property to Abby's family further fueled the animosity between Lizzie and Abby. The household's atmosphere was often described as cold and tense, a detail that would gain significant attention during the subsequent murder trial. The murders. On the morning of August 4, 1892, the Borden household was shattered by a brutal and grisly crime. Andrew and Abby Borden were found murdered in their home, both having suffered multiple blows from a sharp instrument, presumed to be an axe. Abby was discovered first, lying face down in the guest bedroom, her skull crushed from the blows. Andrew was found later, slumped on the sofa in the sitting room, similarly mutilated. Lizzie's behavior on the day of the murders raised immediate suspicions. She claimed to have been in the barn at the time of the attacks, searching for fishing sinkers. Her inconsistent statements and calm demeanor in the face of such horror were noted by investigators and the public alike. Additionally, Bridget Sullivan, the family's maid who was present in the house, reported hearing Lizzie laughing upstairs shortly before discovering her father's body. The absence of an apparent intruder and Lizzie's contradictory accounts of her whereabouts made her the prime suspect. The arrest and trial. Lizzie was arrested on August 11, 1892, a week after the murders. The trial, held in New Bedford, Massachusetts, began in June 1893 and attracted national attention. It was a sensational affair, with the courtroom packed with spectators and journalists eager to report every detail. The case was largely circumstantial, as there were no eyewitnesses and no physical evidence directly linking Lizzie to the murders. The prosecution presented several key pieces of evidence. A prominent point was Lizzie's attempt to purchase prussic acid, a deadly poison, on the day before the murders, which she claimed was to clean a sealskin cape. This was seen as an indication of premeditation. Furthermore, the alleged burning of a dress by Lizzie after the murders was argued to be an attempt to destroy blood-stained evidence. The police found a handleless hatchet in the basement, which they believed to be the murder weapon, although it could not be conclusively linked to the crime. Lizzie's defense, led by former Massachusetts Governor George D. Robinson, focused on the lack of direct evidence. Robinson emphasized Lizzie's respectable character and the improbability of her committing such a gruesome act. The defense also highlighted the fact that no blood was found on Lizzie or her clothing, a significant point given the nature of the murders. Acquittal and aftermath. On June 20th, 1893, after just over an hour of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty. The acquittal was met with mixed reactions. Some saw it as a just outcome given the lack of conclusive evidence, while others believed Lizzie had escaped justice due to her social standing and gender. Despite her acquittal, Lizzie remained a pariah in Fall River. She and her sister Emma inherited a substantial sum from their father's estate, allowing them to purchase a large house in the affluent area of the Hill, which Lizzie named Maplecroft. However, the stigma of the murders followed her for the rest of her life. Lizzie, who later went by the name Lisbeth, was ostracized by the community and lived a relatively reclusive life. She remained active in local social circles and charitable organizations, but the shadow of suspicion never fully lifted. Theories and speculation. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged about the Borden murders. Some suggest that Lizzie was driven by financial motives, anger over her father's perceived favoritism towards her stepmother, or a combination of both. Others speculate about the possibility of an accomplice, or even an unknown intruder. One theory posits that Lizzie might have suffered from a form of epilepsy or other mental disorder that could have driven her to commit the murders in a dissociative state. Another theory involves Bridget Sullivan, suggesting she might have had a role in the killings, possibly in collusion with Lizzie or due to her own grievances with the Bordens. However, none of these theories have been conclusively proven, and the case remains officially unsolved. Legacy and cultural impact. The Borden murders have become a significant part of American folklore, inspiring books, films, plays, and even a popular nursery rhyme. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. This rhyme, while not factually accurate, reflects the enduring fascination with the case. Lizzie Borden's story has been retold and reimagined countless times, often blending fact with fiction. She has been portrayed as both a cold-blooded killer and a misunderstood victim of circumstance. The Bordon house itself has been turned into a museum and bed and breakfast, attracting visitors from around the world eager to explore the site of one of America's most infamous unsolved crimes. Later years and death. In her later years, Lizzie remained in Fall River, living quietly, but never truly escaping the shadow of the accusations. She maintained a close relationship with animals, particularly dogs, and continued to support local charities. Her sister Emma moved out of Maplecroft in 1905 after a dispute, and the sisters never saw each other again. Lizzie Borden died of pneumonia on June 1, 1927, at the age of 66. She was buried in the family plot in Oak Grove Cemetery in Fall River, alongside her father, stepmother, and sister Emma, who died 9 days later. Despite her attempts to move past the events of 1892, Lizzie's name remains synonymous with one of the most notorious murder cases in American history. Conclusion. Lizzie Borden's life story is a complex tapestry of privilege, suspicion, and infamy. From her early years in a respectable family to the horror of the murders and the sensational trial, Lizzie's story has captivated the public imagination for over a century. Despite her acquittal, the question of her guilt or innocence continues to be a topic of debate and speculation. Her legacy endures, a testament to the enduring fascination with mystery and the darker aspects of human nature.